Both clubs are pushing for Chavi Simons, and these are two possibilities. Chavi Simons will make his final decision after the Euros. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, we touch on Victor Osimhen, Dani Olmo, Chavi Simons, Raphael Varane, and much more to mention, including Murillo, the centre-back of Nottingham Forest, rumors about Chelsea. Let's jump into it together. And so guys, many things to discuss today as always on the transfer market. Let me start with one of the big topics we will discuss after the Euros. Chavi Simons, the future of this huge talent of the Dutch national team, because the player will decide after the Euros. So during the Euros, the player will make no decision, but the first step of his decision is already made. It was an exclusive story from earlier last week, and Chavi Simons has decided to leave Paris Saint-Germain. It's going to be a loan deal. Paris Saint-Germain will not sell Chavi Simons this summer. They are going to consider a loan move, and they're prepared to approve a loan move because the player has a say in his future after he decided to return to Paris Saint-Germain last summer when he was at PSV Eindhoven. So the player has a say in his move, has also a big say in deciding the next club together with Paris Saint-Germain, and so keep close eye again on Bayern and also on the situation of Red Bull Leipzig, because both clubs are pushing for Chavi Simons, and these are two possibilities. Chavi Simons will make his final decision after the Euros, but Bayern are still there with the director Max Eberl, who signed Chavi Simons for Leipzig and is now pushing to bring him to Bayern, but also Red Bull Leipzig are insisting behind the scenes, pushing to create something special, with Šeško staying with a new contract, with Chavi Simons staying one more season, with Marco Rose with a new contract. So Leipzig are going really strong, trying to convince the player to stay at the club. Who is not staying at the club, probably, because we still have to wait for the process of the transfer window, is Victor Osimhen at Napoli. Antonio Conte yesterday in his press conference mentioned several things in terms of transfer market, saying that Kvaratskhelia is not for sale, Giovanni Di Lorenzo is not for sale, Zambo Anguissa is not for sale, Stani Lobotka is not for sale, but he didn't mention Victor Osimhen. Why? Because there is already an agreement between Victor Osimhen and Napoli to look for an exit this summer. So the idea of Osimhen and Napoli is for the Nigerian striker to leave the club in the summer transfer window, this summer. So at the moment the situation is still quiet, because Chelsea decided already weeks ago not to proceed with the deal for Victor Osimhen, considered too expensive in terms of salary, in terms of transfer fee that is released close into the contract of Osimhen. So Chelsea at the moment are not keen on that deal because of the cost of the deal. They considered Osimhen in December, but then they decided not to advance in the following months. Then let's see what kind of possibilities there will be around Europe, because in Spain there are no clubs ready to afford this deal or really interested in this deal. In Germany, Bayern are obviously well covered with that position. Paris Saint-Germain at the moment, they still have Colomoni and Gonzalo Ramos. Many rumors on Victor Osimhen in the recent months. PSG have an interest in Osimhen, but at the moment didn't move in terms of concrete possibilities. Who is looking for a striker is still Arsenal and Manchester United. At the current conditions, Osimhen is considered too expensive because of the release clause, 120 million euros plus taxes, but in case Napoli will drop the price of Victor Osimhen, could be an opportunity for clubs looking for strikers, because the agreement mentioned by Antonio Conte in terms of previous agreement before his arrival at Napoli between Osimhen and Napoli is an agreement they made in December, at the end of December, when Victor Osimhen agreed a new contract to help Napoli with his exit in the summer in terms of getting good money, also for him to get a better salary obviously, but in this agreement there was also a pact to let Victor Osimhen leave in the summer transfer window in case of good proposal. So Osimhen is still expected to leave Napoli this summer. Who is not expected to go to Manchester City despite rumors in the last 24 hours, at least as of now, is Dani Olmo. Man City appreciate Dani Olmo. Man City like the player. He was one of the players they had in the list, for example, last summer or 2 years ago. But at the moment, as of now, Manchester City are not working on a deal for Dani Olmo. We had this kind of rumors, but at the moment the intention of Manchester City is not to advance on this kind of solution, because they are looking at different opportunities, because they are looking at different positions. So as of today, many of you asking me, but Dani Olmo is going to Man City? No, at the moment the situation is quiet. For example, for Bayern, the priority target is Xavi Simons. In case Xavi Simons' deal doesn't happen and maybe he goes to Leipzig, in that case, Dani Olmo could be a possibility for Bayern, because Bayern director Eberl also knows Dani Olmo very well. The release clause of Dani Olmo is valid until July 15 for 60 million euros. This is the value of the clause. Strong interest from many clubs in Dani Olmo. We have to include Bayern. Barcelona with director Deco were scouting the player in the recent months, but at the moment still nothing advanced in terms of Barca, and Bayern could be a possibility in case they don't sign their priority target, Chavi Simons. Also important to say something in terms of Chelsea, guys, for Murillo, the centre-back of Nottingham Forest, who had an excellent season, first season in Premier League, and also credits to Nottingham Forest because they signed him when English clubs were not trusting this player. There was interest from Italy. Forest were very strong in this one, and they signed the player. At the moment, we have reports of maybe a proposal from Chelsea. No, guys, at the moment, what I heard is that at least in the last 24-48 hours, Chelsea inquired about the situation of Murillo, because they are still looking at opportunities at centre-backs after signing Tosin. So Murillo is one of the centre-backs they appreciate, one of the players they have been following to cover that position, but still not making any proposal. Tracking the player, yes. Asking for information about a potential package, yes. But at the moment, still nothing advanced for Murillo, also because there are many clubs interested in the player, so it's still an open situation and we have to wait before we know what's gonna happen for the player. Meanwhile, for Chelsea, let me repeat once again that Chelsea are on a mission in South America for Aaron Anselmino, the centre-back of Boca Juniors, born in 2005. Chelsea are still working on this deal. Chelsea believe that Anselmino is a huge talent, so negotiations ongoing. At the moment, Chelsea are still not triggering the release clause from Boca. They want to negotiate, they want to strike a deal, they want to find good conditions for both sides, Chelsea and Boca, in terms of payment terms for Chelsea, and in terms of maybe keeping the player for some time for Boca Juniors. So discussions ongoing between Chelsea and Boca. The player is keen on the move to Chelsea, despite the rumors we had also in other clubs. The focus is on Chelsea, so now we are waiting to see what's going to happen in terms of discussions between the two clubs, but for sure Chelsea are actively working on this deal for Aaron Anselmino. And then, who is available as a free agent is a huge, talented, former talented centre-back, now one of the best players in the world in his position, and is Rafa Varane, who left Manchester United as a free agent, has many possibilities around Europe, but an ambitious club with Cesc Fabregas as manager is Como in Italy, in Serie A, and now Como are trying to tempt Rafa Varane with a proposal made to the French defender. Como are trying to sign Rafa Varane. It's difficult, but it's a dream signing for Como. They are really trying. Let's see if they can make it happen. Rafa Varane has several possibilities. He had some possibilities from Saudi. He had some possibilities from England. He had some possibilities also from Spain. So a lot of interest in Rafa Varane in the recent months. But Como have this dream to bring the player to Serie A. Let's see if they can make it happen. But for sure, it would be something romantic. They already signed Andrea Belotti from Roma for 5 million euros, add-ons included. And now Cesc Fabregas looking for a centre-back, and there is this possibility with Rafa Varane. Let's see if the dream will be reality for Como in Serie A. And so, guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories from Victor Osimhen, which club should go for him. Let me know here in comments, to Chavi Simons and all the other stuff, also including, of course, Rafa Varane, Anselmino, Murillo. Let me know your opinion on all these possibilities. Which club should go for Chavi Simons on loan from PSG? Let me know your opinion, guys, here in comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon with Fabrizio. Ciao!